Welcome to all of you in the GS University YouTube lecture series. Myself Chandrasekhar, Managing Director, CIS Campus YouTube channel. And today we will discuss one of the prominent and the most important terminologies of the topic related with the imaginary lines and the latitude and the longitude drawn on the earth. In the last lecture, we have discussed how the latitude and the longitudes have been drawn on the earth and what is the relevancy of the latitude and the longitude in respect of time and place on the earth. Today we will discuss some important terminology, and then we will move to the determination of time based on the longitudes. Before starting the lecture, I should tell you that you people just have to download the notes which I have provided you through a link, and the link has been given in the description box. Here in this lecture or some other lecture and in any other lecture, you just need to note down the some important technology which you think is important to know for your study pattern and the manner. This depends upon you which point you have to note in this lecture. Otherwise, if you don't note anything, that will be good enough. It is according to your convenience what you wish to know or what you wish to note down. So we are starting our lecture, and the first important terminology of this lecture in the second part of the imaginary lines and the latitude and the longitude is axis. Now what is axis? So axis is that imaginary line which has been drawn on the earth from the center. So axis is not the line which has drawn on the surface of the earth. That imaginary line which passing through the center of the earth and connecting the northernmost reference point, that is North Pole. I repeat, northernmost reference point, that is North Pole, and southernmost reference point, that is South Pole, because the North Pole and the South Pole both are the reference point on the earth. So that imaginary line which is passing through the center of the earth and connecting the North Pole and the South Pole is known as axis. So next, what is the length of the axis? So first we should study what is the polar radius of the earth. Now the polar radius of the earth is 6357 kilometer from the center to the North Pole, and from the center to the South Pole again 6357 kilometer. So the polar radius of the earth is 6357 kilometer, and when we combine these two radius, then we are getting 12,714 kilometer. So this 12,714 kilometer is the diameter of the earth and also the length of the axis. So both the diameter and the axis length are the same. Axis is that imaginary line which passing through the center of the earth and connecting the two reference points, North Pole and the South Pole, and there we have the North Pole and the South Pole, the two reference points. And when we get the two reference points, we take out exactly the middle position of these two reference points, and when we got this middle position, starting from this middle position from the west toward the east and taking a circumference around the earth, we draw a line which is known as equator. In the just middle of the reference point North Pole and the South Pole, we draw a line from west to east and making a circle around the earth from the middle. It is known as a equator, and based on the equator, the complete sphere which is known as a earth, we divide this complete sphere into the two hemisphere, and the northernmost hemisphere or the north situated hemisphere is known as north hemisphere, and the south situated hemisphere known as south hemisphere. ठीक, okay. Now the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere both are the example of horizontal hemisphere. Horizontal hemisphere. The northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, based on the line which dividing the earth into the two hemispheres, that is known as the equator, are the example of the horizontal hemisphere. Again, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Length of the equator is 40,075 kilometer, and the equator is like a circumference. Now here, look at here. This is the equator, and the equator is drawn around the surface of the earth and making a circumference on the earth, and the length of this circumference is 40,075 kilometer. 40,075 kilometer. Now look what I am going to tell you. It is known as a equatorial circumference. The length of the equator is 40,075 kilometer, and it is known as the equatorial circumference of the earth. Why am I telling this to you is that when we have the polar circumference of the earth, polar circumference of the earth, it is 40,008 kilometer. Now look, it is 40,075 kilometer and it is 40,008 kilometer. So there is a difference of the 67 kilometer in the polar and the equatorial circumference of the earth, which proves again that the earth is not a perfect sphere, but it is that kind of the shape which we known as a geoid, in which it is slightly flattened at the north pole and the south pole and little bulge from the middle at the equator. Now the polar circumference, how the polar circumference has been drawn. So in the last lecture we have studied the longitudes, and in the longitude the baseline is, or the base point is, the base reference line is prime meridian. Now the prime meridian is just opposite to the backward of the prime meridian we have the 180 degree longitude, and when we connect both these longitude, look, this is the prime meridian and just opposite to the prime meridian we have the 180 degree longitude, and we connect when we connect both these longitudes we get a circumference, and the length of the circumference is 40,008 kilometer. So here we again has a difference of the 67 kilometer, which proves that the earth is not a perfect sphere. Now based on the polar circumference, earth is divided again into the two hemispheres, and this side hemisphere of the east direction known as eastern hemisphere, and the hemisphere of the west direction known as western hemisphere, and both are the example of vertical hemisphere. So on the earth we have four imaginary hemisphere, because all these lines are imaginary. In reality we don't have any kind of line on the earth. So if the lines are imaginary and the dividation of the earth is based on these imaginary lines, so the imaginary hemisphere are also being formed, and we have four hemisphere, north hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. The north hemisphere is the example of the horizontal hemisphere, whereas the east and the western hemisphere are the example of the vertical hemisphere. Now move to the next. and come again to the axis. Now if this is axis and we have studied all this, then we also know equator, right? And this is the center of the earth. Now whenever you have seen the earth miniature model, which you know as a globe, the globe is slightly inclined. If we see the ideal situation of the earth, so it must be look like this. But when we see always the miniature model of the earth, that is globe, it is inclined to a particular direction, and this direction is west. So the earth is inclined toward the west. That means the axis of the earth also got inclined. So the real position looks like this. Axis, and if the axis is inclined, there must be the inclination in the equator also, and this is the equator. Now this inclination is toward the west direction and the angle is 23.5 degree west. So the inclination angle of the axis is 23.5 degree west. This angle is 90 degree. But when we have got the inclination, so this angle must be 66.5 degree. So the inclined angle of the axis is 23.5 degree. So the orbital plane axis of the earth is 66.5 degree. If the inclination is happening to the axis, simultaneously the inclination or the inclination is also happening with the equator. So the lowermost point of the equator, from the lowermost point of the equator, we draw a parallel line which is known as Tropic of Capricorn, and from the uppermost point of the equator we draw again a straight line known as Tropic of Cancer, and that's how these lines have been drawn on the earth, just because the inclination of the axis. I repeat, when we have the inclination on the axis 23.5 degree, that means the displacement of the equator also take place simultaneously, and the lowermost point, from the lowermost point of the equator we draw a straight line in the southern hemisphere known as the Tropic of the Capricorn, and in the northern hemisphere we draw a straight line known as the Tropic of the Cancer. If this angle, this value of the inclination 23.5 degree, that's why the inclination, that's why the value angle of the Tropic of the Cancer also 23.5 degree north and the Capricorn 23.5 degree south, right? So that's how we have these important latitudes just created due to the inclination of the axis. I repeat, so we have the polar circumference of the earth 40,008 km and the equatorial circumference of the earth is 40,075 km. That means we have the difference of the 67 km in the circumference of the earth. We have the polar radius of the earth is 6357 km, and simultaneously the equatorial circumference is 6378 km. 6378 km. Polar circumference is 6357 kilometer. 6357 kilometer, and that's how the mean radius of the earth is 6371 kilometer. I repeat, 6371 kilometer. The mean radius of the earth is 6371 kilometer. The equatorial circumference is 6378 kilometer, and the equatorial radius is 6378 kilometer, and the polar radius is 6357 kilometer. So if we draw diameter into 2, the mean diameter of the earth, when we connect these both, the equatorial diameter of the earth, and we connect when these both, the polar diameter of the earth. This difference is just because the earth is not a perfect sphere. Axis is inclined on an angle 23.5 degree west, and that's how we have drawn the Tropic of the Capricorn and the Tropic of the Cancer, just because the simultaneous inclination of the equator, the displacement of the equator. And this is for today, important terminologies of the latitude and the longitude. And in the next lecture, we are going to discuss how we determine the time on the different places of the earth based on the longitudes. Thank you for being now. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.